Parul, we're now going to be studying sequences and series, right?
Right.
So tell me, what does the topic entail? What will we study in this chapter?
Basically, in sequence and series, we first look at the arithmetic progression, the geometric progression, and the harmonic progression, their properties. Next, we find a correlation between all three of these, and after that, we use these progressions to solve some miscellaneous series. Because the aim of this chapter is basically to solve some random and difficult series in the question. So we use the basic properties to solve them later on.
Alright, so by random, I hope you mean series that we don't know about.
Exactly, that don't have a generalized formula as such.
Okay, so we'll develop the cognitive tools for that.
Exactly.
Now tell me, in this chapter, where do we usually mess up? Like, where do we make mistakes?
Basically, sequence and series is again finding a typical question of this topic is not that easy. Okay, and there are many questions of other topics in which they may be a long one, but they can be easily solved if we just use properties of the arithmetic and geometric mean, which children are not generally able to analyze. So, and secondly, if we are given a big series, then basically the common mistake that children do is to analyze what exactly concept to be used, like where to find the arith term, where to just separate using the denominator. So basically a good practice of it is required so that we exactly know in which type of situation what method to apply.
Okay. Tell me this now, what is fascinating about sequences and series? Something that comes to your mind?
Exactly. Sequence and series is already a very logical topic which with not much of theory in it.
Okay.
And one interesting thing, if you see, we have a term called Fibonacci series. Okay. Basically it is a series in which the first two terms are 0 and 1, and then we find a term by adding just the two previous terms to it. Okay. So if you see, it has I just studied this thing somewhere. It has quite many applications. For example, if you just place squares in an order with their edges being that of the numbers of the Fibonacci series, and you join them in a order, they form a spiral, which is actually found in nature as well. For example, in the way the branching of the trees and in the fruitlet of pineapple. It is just an interesting thing which you can go and you can see its application. And one more, you could see that the Fibonacci series also helped us to determine the Euclid's algorithm that helps us to find the greatest common divisor of two numbers. Basically, in that, the worst situation is that we use the two numbers of the Fibonacci series to find the greatest common divisor.
Oh,
exactly.
So it is something that is represented in the natural world. As you can see, it exists in things in and around you.
Exactly.
And it's quite interesting as to how a mathematical series has a physical manifestation. And it also has mathematical applications, as we just found out. So with the questions, as Parul has told us, the questions are going to be mixed with other topics. You need a fair bit of practice to be able to solve these questions. And you need to understand where to apply what. Right. You can use this to shorten other questions as such. So now let's just dive into the questions and solve them.
Exactly.
Alright.